I gave my niece a laptop on her birthday, and she screamed at me because it wasn't brand new. What's the most ungrateful thing you've seen someone do? Today is my niece's birthday, and she just went to college, so I thought I'd get her a laptop for her birthday. Now, I am a student myself, but I still want to give her something special. So I searched for a great used laptop, and I found a decent Toshiba Satellite. I sold my PSP and some other things, so I can afford it. So, there we were at the dinner table opening presents. She opened mine and has this grim look at her face. This is it? I thought you'd buy me a brand new one. You know I can't afford it. It's the best I can do. I want a brand new one, not this. This sucks. Worst present ever. She then shoved the laptop and box across the table and fell down the floor. I picked it up and walked out. My cousin tried to stop me. I just said I would never give her anything again. She even had the nerve to call back and asked for the laptop. Apparently, her parents punished her for her behavior and she will now have to buy her own things. No handouts or gifts. My friend bought it as a favor. He helped me pick it out and knows how much I bought it for. The profit was only $10, roughly. What's the most ungrateful thing you've seen someone do? A girl in my high school received a used car on her 16th birthday. She was unhappy with the fact that it was used, 3 years old. So she intentionally totaled it. Her thinking was that if she totaled this one, her parents would have to buy her a new one. She didn't get a new car and had to ride the bus. I knew a girl who did that, too, except with a nice little Ranger. It was a couple years old, but had all the bells and whistles, except for wheel drive. That wasn't good enough for her, so she wrecked it intentionally. She fractured her neck and had to walk around with a cervical collar for a couple months. And then her parents bought her a piece of shit 1980 something Ford Escort. I have 2 nephews aged 14 and 12, and they have every game console out there. So thinking I was going to be the coolest aunt ever, I bought them 4 of the latest games, and they were over $50 each. I don't see them often. I wanted to do something special. $250 is a lot of money in my budget. They took one look at the games, said, they suck, threw them against the wall and broke the cases. I picked them up, took them back to the store, but they refused to take 3 of them back due to the damage. I ended up selling them at the mall to one of those game stores, got almost nothing for them. Never again. I helped my workmate move house, hungover after far too much tequila. I moved all his shit, his boyfriends and his roommates basically by myself, as he was useless. Took almost 12 hours. The wanker didn't even buy me a beer, food or anything all day. Then fobbed me off when I asked for help to move. Then had the nerve to ask for help when he moved out. When I was younger I worked at a Blockbuster. I was the night shift manager, and one night I was working by myself when a customer walks up and hands me a woman's wallet, says he found it on the ground. I peeked inside it to find an ID membership card, so I could look up her account/phone number. Sure enough, she had been in the store about 30 minutes earlier, so I gave her a call. She seemed pleased on the phone and said she would be right in. Store policy for something like that was to lock the item in the safe until the customer arrives. I did so and went about my business. About an hour later the woman comes in and asks for her wallet. I tell her it's going to be 15 minutes as the safe was timed, and ask her to wait. This was apparently unacceptable, and she asked if I could get it faster than that. Told her no, and continued helping other customers while she waited. Once the safe beeped, I grabbed her wallet and handed it to her. I had to put the line of customers on hold while I did this, because I wanted her out of the store ASAP, since she had spent the last 15 minutes fuming and standing right next to my register. As soon as I hand her the wallet she says, "My money better be in here." I explained that I honestly had no idea, as I didn't open it all the way, as her membership card was on an outer flap. This was one of those large female wallets that was more like a mini purse with lots of flaps and zippers and such. After handing it to her I asked for the next customer in line to step up, and basically tried ignoring her. She starts screaming, "My money is gone." You stole my money, which really surprised me, as she was a pretty normal looking soccer mom type. I asked the customer I'm helping to wait a second, and explained to her the way the wallet was handed to me, and reiterated that I had not personally opened the wallet any further than the first flap. She starts screaming again, saying there was over $200 in it, and that she was calling the police. I shrug and tell her to go ahead. At this point I'm completely satisfied to ignore her. She walks to the back of the store, and whips out her cell phone. I continue helping the line, as customers are looking back at the woman as she is loudly calling the police. Most of the customers are like, "What a bitch," etc. I just shrug and smile. After the line was cleared, the lady comes back to the register and tells me, with a super smug look, "The police are on the way." "Okay," I say and give her a "I don't give a duck" shrug, and ignore her while checking in movies. About an hour later, a cop finally enters the store. She waited right next to my register the entire time, and she starts waving at him and pointing at me at the same time. I see the cop and roll my eyes and shake my head. He asks her to repeat her story, and as she's repeating it he's almost completely ignoring her and watching the football game that we have playing on our DirecTV kiosk. After she gets done he looks at me, rolls his eyes, and asks, "Did you take the money?" "Of course not," I say. "I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do, ma'am," the cop says and leaves the store. As he leaves he holds the door for her and tells her to leave if her business is complete. I smiled super big, like Cheshire Cat big, and told her to have a super day as she left. After she left I bought pizza with the $200 I took. Just kidding. But I almost wish that's how the story ended after she embarrassed me like that for close to 2 hours. My younger sister got diamond earrings for her 16th birthday from my parents. She then says in a bitchy tone, "This isn't what I asked for." Parents then take back earrings, scolds her, and she gets nothing for her birthday. She then spends the rest of her birthday demanding that they give it back to her. I delivered a pizza in a low-income type apartment complex. Total was $18 something, and she handed me a $20 rolled up and told me to keep the change. I turned around and started walking down the stairs back to the parking lot while unrolling the $20 to put in my wad of cash, when I find a $100 wrapped up inside of the $20. Immediately I turned around and went back, knocked and said, "I don't think you meant to include this inside the 20. As I extended my hand towards her with a $100 bill in it, she instantly started screaming at me about how she didn't give me no $100 tip, and that I'm lucky she doesn't call the police. Slammed the door, then called to my pizza shop to complain. I told the manager the whole story. She was put on the do not answer list. Crazy lady. The older auto shop teacher at my high school made me chuckle one time. We were in the middle of class when this middle-aged woman, guest speaker for some other class, comes strolling in and says, "I need to get my keys out of my car now. I guess I'll lock them inside." My teacher gives her an odd look and says, "Okay." He then proceeded to walk over to her car, fish around with the Slim Jim, and pop the lock. He leans in and picks up her keys, all the while she is not saying anything. Half jokingly he tells her, "It will be $20, and she laughs and makes a quip about how the teacher must be so desperate for money that he charges extra for part of his job. The best part was when he responded with, "No ma'am. You locking up your keys is not in my job description." He then threw the keys back in, locked the door, shut it, and proceeded back to the class. After getting close to $500 in gifts for Christmas, my sister tore down the tree, kicked other people's gifts, started yelling and crying because she didn't see a Wii among her presents. This was when they were really hard to find. We actually did get her a Wii, she just didn't get to it yet. I even had to take on a second holiday job at an online gaming store to get it. She was a 24-year-old med student at the time. A coworker whined that her grandmother gave her a silver necklace for her birthday, when she knows I only ever wear white gold. I laughed and told her that when my grandparents were alive, I only ever got a birthday card, and that stopped when I started high school. But the coworker only got more defensive, trying to get me to sympathize with her situation. This coworker is actually a lovely person, but has lived a very sheltered life. I saw this woman on the side of the road who had a flat tire and was clearly having issues changing it. So polite Olmi decided to halt my run and go see if I could help out. I stroll over and offer my services to her, and she accepts, but she backs away to pretty far distance. I proceed to change her tire and help get her on her way, and as soon as I finish and proceed to extend my arm for a handshake, she says, "Back away, I have 911 on my phone right now, and all I have to do is press call." I don't know if she thought I was going to attack her or something, but you don't just do that to someone who just helped you change your damn tire. Flabbergasted, I run away and I haven't seen that bitch since. Edit, I do understand that I don't understand what she may have been through in the past, but if it was that uncomfortable for her to accept help from a stranger, then she should have just thanked me for offering, but graciously declined. Not accepted my help, then threatened to call 911 on me. You should have put the flat tire back on. It's a bit late for people to notice this, but I was visiting friends at their farm years ago. My friend from high school and his wife and their daughter, who was about 16. The daughter was out saddling her horse when the horse kicked her in the chest, collapsed her throat, and she couldn't breathe. I performed an emergency tracheotomy, saving her life. About 2 months later I get a letter from a law firm. They changed their mind about how grateful they were and decided to sue me for leaving a scar from the tracheotomy.